So this week's episode is all about deer hunting. We're going to go over a lot of habitat improvements that we've been working on, a lot of the stuff that we've been doing to try to improve our deer hunting property, and then we'll do kind of a recap of last year's season. And to be honest, last year's deer season for me was frustrating. I mean, I can't tell you how many times where it just seemed like deer shifted or moved, or I wasn't seeing as many deer as what I'd seen past years. And I really struggled to pattern some of the deer that I'd seen, scouting. And so it was a frustrating season, but the season's a marathon in the sense in North Dakota, our archery season begins in September and it goes all the way till the end of the year. And then we've got the rifle season in there, and then if you're lucky enough to draw a muzzleloader tag. And so we have different opportunities spread out throughout the fall, and it's a long season. And the thing about that is that you can have a tough year, you can have tough sits. In just the blink of an eye, your entire season, your entire fortunes can change. And that's what I tell myself when things are tough is that, the next night, the next sit could be the one. All you need is the right deer to step in front of you, and all of a sudden, all the nights that you sit and all the, times where you feel like you're not seeing the deer that you hoped you would, you forget about all those sits, once it happens. And so I guess that's probably the biggest thing is sometimes you just have to persevere and realize that, not every year is going to be as good as the previous year, but in one sit, your fortunes can change dramatically.
Oh, there he is, there he is. See him?
One thing I've been doing a lot is setting up mock scrapes. I find that it's a great way to get pictures of deer even in the summertime. I mean, it's amazing how every deer that comes by will hit this. So not only does it create a hunting opportunity, but also a great opportunity to get pictures of deer to see what's around. But the easiest thing that I found is just take just a pine branch and a rope. You just find a leaning branch like this. Throw the rope over the branch, pull up until this branch is about waist high. Lots of room around it, and then just tie it off. Just an easy, fast way to create a licking branch, which is the most important part of this whole deal. It's amazing. Every fawn that comes by, every deer that comes by is gonna rub on this. And the next thing, just take a rake and just really scrape out the area around it. Scrape away all the grass. And just get that black in there. I don't know, there's some people that recommend putting scents and urine and stuff on there, but what I find is if you just do this, they'll find it and hit it to get deer to come in front of your stand. I mean, right here's where a couple of trails come together. I've got a ladder stand right here. So I don't know if you'd be able to do this where you're not in the flow of deer. You want to be, near a trail, but it is amazing all summer long, all fall, how deer will just hit this. If they come through here, they're going to stop here. That's the whole key as far as trying to get a shot. There's a shrub coming in nice. This last winter was so hard on our deer. I mean, it was decimating. It was disappointing. We found, I think, 4 dead deer right behind our shop, and so our deer numbers are so down. But I guess if there's a silver lining to it, one of the things that I did this year is I just kind of doubled down on tree planting. I plant a lot of trees each year, and I just love just coming out and planting trees and doing stuff to the landscape to try to help wildlife. And this shrub right here in particular, this is red osier dogwood. And normally I've planted this in the past. I mean, I've made a lot of mistakes doing this. I can't say I'm an expert because I've wasted money and I've wasted time and I've made mistakes, but I guess I've learned a few things along the way. But there have been times where I planted red osier dogwood and it felt like as soon as I walked away, the deer just mow it down and kill it, and so that's the big thing is getting some of these trees, some of these shrubs established when you have a lot of deer around. Well, this year, there's hardly any deer, and so I just doubled down. I started planting a lot more stuff that the deer would normally destroy, and I haven't had any problems this summer, which is sad. But this red osier dogwood in particular is a really important shrub for deer. I mean, they love to eat it. They eat it in the wintertime. It's a rejuvenated growth. You can, once this gets established, you can trim it down and it just pops right back up. And it's almost like that particular shrub evolved for white-tailed deer. And so I've been planting a lot of red osier dogwood and a lot of other trees too. You know, and with these suckering shrubs, you know, you take like the silverberry, the buffalo berry, Russian olive, any of the willows, red osier dogwood. The other way you can propagate this and really make it denser is basically you just take a branch, and it's pretty simple to do, where you just dig a small hole next to the shrub, and then you just take a landscape stake and you just pin it down into that hole, just like this, and then just fill it in with the dirt, fill it in with the sod. And basically what you're doing is you're basically creating another shrub. And basically after, oh, I don't know, maybe a month or so, a month or 2 months, by the end of the summer, you can cut off this main stem here, and this will grow roots. This will create root systems. So basically you can just keep creating and propagating more shrubs. And so when you really want to make your cover heavier or denser, that's something you can do with an existing shrub, where you can just multiply it, and just a great way to create wildlife habitat. Got some evergreens popping up over here. You know, one of the things I try to do is just kind of, I guess, create a diversity with the habitat, in the sense that, you know, you don't ever want a monoculture. You don't want all grass. You don't want all pollinator blends. You don't want all one specific type of tree. And so I try to plant a variety of trees. And so I planted some evergreens through here just to try to provide some thermal protection, you know, and so trying to plant it in clumps and, you know, just natural, you know, where you've got some trees, shrubs, different kinds of trees, different kinds of shrubs, conifer trees, you know, deciduous trees, trees that are, I guess, highly edible for deer as far as rejuvenated growth, and then also, you know, trees and shrubs that just provide cover. But it'll be fun to always envision or imagine what this will look like in 5-10 years and what it'll be like down the road. That's kind of what drives me, is just that vision. Well, it's the opening weekend of the North Dakota deer archery season. It's actually the opening Saturday. Season opened yesterday, and there's one particular deer that I'm hoping to see tonight that I need a south wind for. So we got a little bit of a south wind, probably a little bit too much. It's probably blowing 15 to 20, hoping it lays down tonight. I didn't even hunt last night just because I didn't have a good stand set up for the wind that we had last night. So this is our opening sit, but we're gonna go down a ways and slide into a ground blind here, and we're plenty early, but yeah, goodness, it's good to get back in the blind, and hopefully we see some deer tonight. It's gonna be a fun season. First sit of the year, and it is hot and windy. Probably isn't, well, best conditions, but hope is that we can catch these bucks in their summer pattern here, kind of catch them flat-footed. They don't know it's hunting season yet. You know, so I started off the archery season. I think what was probably the biggest difference is I wasn't seeing as many deer. Usually I'm scouting through the summer, I'm seeing different deer that are, you know, deer that I'd love to harvest if given the opportunity. And then our season starts early enough where we have a chance at shooting a deer in velvet, and we can still find some of the bucks in their summer patterns for at least maybe a week to 10 days, and then everything shifts and changes. But I just wasn't seeing the number of bucks that I normally do, and our deer numbers were definitely down. And then this past winter, our deer numbers got knocked down even more so. So a lot of times, if I don't feel like I'm dialed in on a specific deer, sometimes what I'll do is I'll still go out and hunt. I'll still go out and sit, because I love to sit in a tree. I love to sit in a blind and just watch whatever unfolds. But I'll kind of hunt off the mark. I'll hunt off the spot and actually, you know, use it as an opportunity to scout, in the sense that I'll go out and sit not expecting to see anything, but I also try to go out and not try to intentionally booger something up, you know, in the sense that if you go in too quick or don't go in under the right circumstances or have the right wind, I feel like you can do a lot of damage. And if there's not a lot of deer, it's not like you can recover from that. And so a lot of times I'll just sit off the X, so to speak, and just use an opportunity to watch and learn. And if I can learn more, then I can make a more calculated or more precise move to try to kill a specific deer. And a lot of times if I can hunt that way, I find that usually the first, second, third sit is my best chance to try to kill that deer. And then after that, the deer starts to pattern you. But started off the season and it was just slow. I mean, I wasn't seeing the bucks that I had on trail camera. It's like some of them just disappeared. And what was kind of shocking as well is I just wasn't seeing that many deer. October. The temperatures are getting colder. These are some of the first colder nights we've had where it's getting down to 30 degrees, below freezing. So it feels like a good night to sit here. There's some geese working out in the field in front of us. So really excited about this whole week because it's end of October, pre-rut, and we've got some favorable weather in the forecast. You know, every stage of the season has its pros and cons in the sense that early in September, you know, you still have these deer. Some of them are going to be in velvet. They're going to be in their summer patterns. You know, they don't really know that they're getting hunted yet. And so I feel like it's a prime opportunity to catch a big buck, you know, in that summer pattern where they don't realize they're being hunted. You know, but then you get later on in the year and those things all change. You know, the deer that you're watching in the summer, early fall, you know, they move, they shift, they relocate into different areas. But then new opportunities become available in the sense that now all of a sudden you get into late October, early November, and you've got deer that are cruising, they're on their feet during daylight more, and they're out looking for does, and it just seems like you can just get in these travel corridors and just basically run traffic where if you've got doe activity, sooner or later there's going to be a buck that comes through to scent check that area, and that creates opportunities. Then when you get later on in the year, you know, into the rifle season, you know, then you get right into the rut. And so there's never a bad time to hunt, you know, it's just a matter of the situations change. Early in the season, you know, you're focusing on food sources, you know, getting mid to late season, you're focusing on does, and when you get to the end of the season, you're back to food sources.
Well, it's early morning. And we're kind of in a pinch down area where we've got some bedding behind us, just kind of a neck down, and just catching deer as they're coming back to bed. And it's probably about 20 degrees colder than what it's been all week. And so it's end of October, prime time. Should be a prime day here, so we'll see what happens. But we've already seen a couple of deer, so good start to the morning. It's opening day of the North Dakota deer rifle season, and we're out here a little early. The season opens at noon. We're out here shortly after noon. I think what got me excited is in my yard this morning were two different respectable bucks chasing does right in my yard. My wife gives me a hard time all the time. Why do you have to go out and hunt when we've got deer in the yard? But it's not the same. But we're kind of in a pinch point here where the edge of the field is about 400 yards, and so a lot of times these bucks cruise back and forth through here, so we're hoping that we catch one here tonight, but it's finally getting cold. And then, like last night, I bow hunted, and it was really windy. Today the wind's laying down, and so, but if we see deer, it'll be a fun sit, no doubt about that.
You know, so because I have property in North Dakota, I get a gratis tag. And so I get a buck rifle tag every year. And, you know, I'll archery hunt most of the year, and then, you know, opportunity arises, I'll gun hunt as well. I think I can safely say that I enjoy archery hunting more. I just love shooting a bow. I love shooting at a deer with a bow. But at the same time, you know, I'm also an opportunist in the sense that I've got some parcels of land that just are not laid out very well for bow hunting at all, but they're excellent rifle hunting spots. And so, you know, the rifle season opens up on a Friday at noon. We get out to the blind, you know, right around noon. And not that we expected to see a deer during the day, but we just wanted to get out there earlier and get set up and just glass and wait. And I thought if we could get out there in the middle of the day, we could kind of slide in without any deer noticing us. And so a lot of times, you know, especially in wide open country, I try to get out really, really early and sit a while and let things settle down. And so we get into this permanent blind, and we're set up and thinking, you know, I'll be sitting here for 3 or 4 hours before I see a deer move. And, you know, once you know it, we're sitting there for maybe an hour, and buck stands up out of the cattails. You know, we were probably only maybe 250 yards from this buck that was bedding. We were able to slide in, get in the blind. Buck never knew that we were there. Talk about a change of fortune in the sense that here I've gone all archery season and just had really, really tough luck. Nothing's worked out the way I hoped it would. And then rifle season, I'm hunting for maybe an hour, hour and a half at the most, and is one of the shortest rifle seasons that I've ever had.
Well, we just had a nice buck step out of the cattails, and I didn't have a shot, but boy, we got a lot of daylight left. Let's hope that he makes a move. He's only probably about 250 yards away, 200 yards away at the most. I lost him. We just have to wait him out. At some point, he's gonna step back out. Oh, there he is. There he is. See him? Okay, there's my shot right there. I don't see him. Oh, there he is. Oh, that was quick. Oh my goodness. It doesn't always happen this way. We've been sitting out for less than an hour. My goodness. That's a great buck. Wow. Oh my goodness. Sometimes you get lucky. We've had a lot of sits bow hunting where nothing worked out. And first night of rifle season, first hour, and this guy steps up. Let's go check him out. That's a good buck. It's a great buck. Oh my. I'm gonna load my rifle here. That was awesome. I was out here scouting on it probably about 3 weeks ago, and I think it was the same deer, but it's on the other side of the slough. And then we had some rain about a week ago, and I saw these really big hoof prints go back into this spot, and so I thought that's where that sucker's bedding, because I haven't been able to see this deer or find him in a long time. And so I saw those big hoof prints, so I knew there was a good buck back in here. And it's kind of a hard spot to glass unless you get right up in this blind. And I just wanted to stay out of here until the season started. And we've got a great deer down. Wow. Can't believe it. Every once in a while you get lucky in life. Let's go put our hands on that buck.
found him here. Right back in the cattails where he came out of. It's a great deer. I'm gonna put my rifle down here and drag him out. Buried in there. All right. Oh boy, a big bodied deer. Oh. Just like that, my season's over. Look at how big that deer is. Yeah, what a sit. It's kind of bittersweet when it's over that quick, but boy, what a blessing. What a blessing, great buck. Feels incredible and crazy to be done this early, but what can you complain about? What a incredible deer, an incredible hunt. And that's the wrap of the 2022 deer rifle season for me.